Death, crime, and a desperate flight from fascism, Pedro Pascal is one of TV's hottest stars, but behind his meteoric rise to fame lies a dark and tragic past. José Pedro Balmaceda Pascal, better known as Pedro Pascal, is a Chilean-American actor known for his performances in shows such as Narcos, The Mandalorian, and The Last of Us. He started in the industry by appearing first in shorts and then in TV shows like NYPD Blue and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Pascal's first big movie was Sisters in 2005. Since then, he has become one of Hollywood's biggest television stars.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
However, as cheerful and well-disposed to jokes as he seems in interviews and red carpets, Pascal carries a past that wasn't all that easy. From the moment he was born until the day his mother died, this star has seen the struggles of life up close. These moments are part of the path that led him to his successful career, a career that is very well connected to his roots. As he once told Time, "My family can't believe it. My dad is so impressed. He loves the movies and would take us 2-3 times a week, so this fantasy of mine of becoming an actor, I can blame my father for that. He's so amazed and so happy." Most people assume that celebrities have led easy lives and that stardom just knocks on their door. But for Pedro Pascal, that was not the case. Pascal's life changed forever when he was just a 9-month-old baby. The star once told Real America with Jorge Ramos, "I didn't choose to come to the United States, but being raised here has shaped exactly who I am today, and I can't imagine that being taken away from me." In the mid-1970s, the Chilean government was overthrown by the dictator Augusto Pinochet.
Yes, let's get dark about that.
Yeah.
At the time, many families had to leave their homes and seek asylum for their own protection. The Balmaceda Pascals were among them. They took their children out of the country to guarantee their survival. The family was at risk because Pascal's parents had offered protection to a relative of his mother's, who had later been hunted by the military. Pascal later told Time, "Still, helping some people hide got them into hot water. Eventually, they got to the Venezuelan embassy and claimed asylum. We were sent to Denmark and then the US. My sister and I were born in Chile and raised in the States, and my little brothers were born in the States and raised in Chile after my parents moved back in 1995. Pascal grew up in the US as both the son of immigrants and a refugee, which meant that he was perceived to be very different from the people around him. However, he didn't really notice these differences until they were pointed out to him by others. For example, he later told Variety that he didn't think his parents had an accent until a friend of his asked why his mother talked like that. Pascal also had to get used to moving around a lot. The actor told Variety that when his family moved from Texas to California, he was around 10. There were 2 really rough years, a lot of bullying. However, he found something to keep him afloat and distracted from the cruel reality of his school life, an obsession with movies and plays. He later explained that it completely changed him. Pascal's childhood was difficult to say the least, but his father's story is both strange and tragic. Before fleeing Chile, José Balmaceda was a well-known fertility doctor. When he settled in the US, he continued his career and joined Dr. Ricardo Ash to create a new technique known as gamete intrafallopian transfer. But scandal fell upon them in 1995 when the University of California sued them for allegedly stealing patients' eggs and embryos and implanting them in other women without their knowledge.
Suppose the doctor you had come to see as your savior was secretly taking advantage of you.
After these charges were raised against him, Balmaceda went back to Chile, where his fellow colleagues welcomed him with open arms. Dr. Cesar Cafati Hamarne told the New York Times, "So far, all we are hearing is a bunch of gossip. Balmaceda is an excellent doctor and a true professional, and until he is proven guilty in a court of law, he should be welcomed to practice medicine here in Chile." Hamarne wasn't the only one to praise Balmaceda for his career and the innovations he brought to the field, however. According to the Los Angeles Times, other doctors had previously called him a pioneer who had influenced many others to specialize in fertility. The story doesn't end there. In 2022, Balmaceda surrendered himself after signing a plea agreement for tax fraud in relation to the UC Irvine fertility scandal. In 2000, Pedro Pascal's mother, Verónica Pascal, died by suicide. In part as a tribute to his mother, Pedro changed his last name from his father's to hers, he told Variety. And also because Americans had such a hard time pronouncing Balmaceda, it was exhausting. At the time of his mother's death, the future star's career hit pause, as he also lost his agent. Of course, today's reality tells us that Pedro was able to overcome this terrible tragedy and lead the kind of career that would have made his mother proud. In 2020, Pedro continued to honor his mother by telling People magazine, "She was always incredibly supportive, never a stage mom. I always felt like she knew something that I didn't. None of my success would be real if it weren't for her." Pascal says that if her passing has taught him anything, it's to lean on the people around him when he's struggling. He explained, "I relied on my friends like one would food and water because I was on my own. I felt a little rattled and ultimately grateful for all of my friendships, old and new. We were there for each other. That really is the only thing that matters." If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by dialing 988 or by calling 1-800-273-TALK-8255.